That's exactly how you want to hit. You want to hit hard attacks into third meter like the biggest volleyball stars and be admired by others. You want videos of these your third meter spikes to go viral on social media sites. You can spike into the third meter zone during warm-ups and during a match. Of course, it's easier during warm-ups before a match, because there is no block against you. You can also attack into the third meter from position 4 and 2, where the outside hitter and the opposite attacks. Or you can spike to third meters in the middle of the net where the blockers are attacking. And your hard hits into the third meter zone can also aim down the line or diagonal. On the other hand, forget about hitting 3 meter spikes when you are attacking from the back zones. You just can't. Anyway, everyone, not just young volleyball players, dreams of hitting huge spikes to third meter. How you will say, did you see my spike? How the fans, the girls and your teammates will admire you. On the other hand, your opponent will be afraid of you because those hard 3-meter attacks just means a lot of respect. And we all enjoy watching the best players in the world hit these big attacks. And it's these powerful third meter attacks that I want to teach you in this video, and I'll give you also an extra tip for that. Although don't count on being able to attack this way too often during a match. Also, when you hit at third meter, you can touch the net. Otherwise, you'll spoil the impression of your spike and others won't admire your spike as much. To hit hard attacks within 3 meters, you need a really fast hand and great wrist. You need to hit the ball as close as possible over the net so that it bounces as high as possible. To achieve these fantastic spikes, you not only need a fast arm, but also a decent jump and the dynamics in your body. In today's video, I'm going to show you several exercises that will fundamentally help you speed up your hand and wrist. We'll look at a few special exercises that you cannot find anywhere else. Exercises that are essential for you if you want to think about hard attacks into third meter. First, we'll start on the ground with no jump and no ball. If you want to have a fast arm, you need to practice with an elastic band. Keep repeating the same dynamic movement. That is practicing the attack movement with your arms. Make sure you have the right technique, elbow up when hitting, torso rotating when hitting. Also the left hand works in this movement. A similar and, in my opinion, equally important exercise is stretching the elastic band in a backward motion. This movement simulates the arm approach for the attack, which you also need to have quick when jumping. Therefore, stand facing the elastic band attachment point and dynamically pull the elastic band behind you. Again, the elbow is up during the movement and the left arm is also working. For a fast arm and powerful spikes into the ground, you also need a strong arm. An exercise you can do anywhere that will help you greatly is throwing a medicine ball into the ground. I do this exercise with a 3-kilogram medicine ball. Put a mat on the ground so you don't damage the medicine ball or the floor. Grasp the medicine ball in both hands. Prepare yourself and throw medicine ball into the ground with as much force as possible. It's also a good idea to bend over a little and engage your abdominal muscles in the throw. After this more challenging strength exercise, we move on to transformation exercises, and throwing the tennis ball over the net is the first one. Prepare a basket with used tennis balls. Take the net down to a height that is not above your head. Rather, put it even lower. Then, after one approach step, throw the tennis ball as close below you as possible, but over the net. In this movement, you are engaging your whole arm in a very dynamic movement. And wrist work is extremely important. Without a fast wrist, you will not be attacking powerful spikes with a volleyball within 3 meters. And before we hit volleyballs over the net, let's warm up the hand with volleyball. First, we lightly attack the ball a few times against the wall into the ground to reset our feel for the ball as we attack. Then we are going to hit ball hard. The goal of this exercise is to speed up your arm. You will do this by pitching the ball high and then hitting the ball into the ground with maximum power. This is not an easy exercise. You need to have an excellent estimate for the incoming ball and also a very fast hand and wrist to hit the falling ball at the right moment. If you do everything right, the ball should bounce pretty high. Now we move on to the net, which is still hanging low. Your teammate sets or throws the ball to the middle of the net. You don't jump. Instead, you try to hit the ball as hard as you can into the ground from the spot. You try to hit it as close as to the net as possible, somewhere within 3 meters. This drill prepares you for a later drill when you will be hitting over the net. Hit 10 to 15 balls this way. Then we'll raise the net, but don't raise it to the maximum height yet. We'll go back to develop hand and wrist speed again for a while, with the tennis balls already being thrown over the net and close from the jump. You now need a dynamic approach to do this properly. Just a quick last step like when you are attacking. So make a quick approach and throw the tennis ball as fast as you can against the ground. The important thing is to learn the movement where you jump up, throw the tennis ball over the net with as much dynamics as possible underneath you but over the net, and still have the tennis ball bounce as high as possible. Keep the net at the same height, yet not maximum as in the match. And we are switching to classic spikes from the middle of the net after the set. The set should be about a meter high. Be careful not to touch the net. Throw or set the ball to the setter yourself. The important thing is to set it accurately into the hands of the setter, who is standing directly under the net. After the set, again take a dynamic step and try to hit the ball into the 3-meter zone. This exercise is not easy anymore. You have to coordinate more movements, and it also depends on the set. Then you can try the same thing with a faster set, where the setter will already set you a quick set. A quick set like the blockers do. It's from these and similar sets that volleyball stars put their biggest spikes into the 3rd meter. But let's back to our drills. Now we are going to stretch the net to the right height, just like in a match. And once again, the tennis ball awaits us. With the tennis ball, we simulate an attack. Only now we are not in the middle of the court, but in zone 4, where the outside hitters are the ones who do the most of their attacks. Also in this exercise, try to throw the tennis ball into the ground as close as you can as possible. Once we have a few throws, we move on to the real classic spiking after a set from zone 4. Pass the ball yourself. The setter has to set you a medium-high set close to the net. If you have ball half a meter from the net or little behind the net, you won't be able to hit it within 3 meters. So be patient. Not every set will be ideal, and you won't always be able to hit the ideal 3rd meter spike. But that's okay, because we are learning these spikes now. For me, the hardest exercise is the 3-meter attack from quick sets in the middle of the net. I haven't played as a middle blocker, so I don't have the ideal technique and timing for these sets. Anyway, incorporate this exercise into your training as well if you want to hit hard spikes within 3 meters. Because, as I mentioned before, you can attack the biggest bombs from these spikes within 3 meters. And now I have an extra tip for you. A tip that will help you, and you don't have to do any difficult exercise. Take a bit more inflated ball for your attempts and attacks. Sure, volleyballs have a prescribed pressure to be inflated too, and you can play with a ball that is too hard. But in this case, my advice is to inflate one ball a little bit more, and you'll see that your 3rd meter spikes with this harder ball will have a completely different bounce. I believe that my advice will help your dream to attack powerful spikes into the 3rd meter zone comes true, and you will feel like a real volleyball star. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.